Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking a really profound journey into one of the most ancient and, honestly, deeply philosophical texts in human history, specifically focusing on Chapter 9 of the Bhagavad Gita. Now, before we even jump into the very first concept, I want to ask a small favor of you. If you truly want to grasp the answers we're going to uncover today, I need you to do a quick mental exercise. I want you to temporarily set aside your ego and just put your past beliefs on pause for the next few minutes. Because the concepts this text presents, they're going to fundamentally challenge what you might have believed up until now. So if you're ready to open your mind, let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. To really set the stage, we need to do a little thought experiment together. Imagine zooming way out from where you're sitting right now. The observable universe, according to science, stretches a totally mind-bending 93 billion light years across. To put that terrifying scale into perspective, it takes light just 1.3 seconds to reach the moon from Earth. 1.3 seconds, but to cross the universe, 93 billion years. Just think about the sheer vastness of that for a second.
Now, let's completely reverse that and zoom back in, step by step. From the absolute entirety of the universe, we zoom into these massive superclusters, which contain thousands of galaxies. Inside one of those is our Milky Way galaxy. Tucked away in a quiet little corner of the Milky Way is our solar system. On one tiny blue planet in that system, Earth, you sit. Stop for a second and really ask yourself, in a universe this unimaginably huge, does my existence even matter? Science might kind of suggest that whether you're here or not makes absolutely no difference to the cosmos. Honestly, you seem entirely insignificant. And that feeling of total insignificance agitates this deeply human existential dread. It brings us to the ultimate question. If we really don't matter to the universe, why are our lives filled with so much pain? And if there actually is a God, a creator, why is there so much injustice? Why do terrible things happen to good, innocent people? Well, you definitely aren't the first person to ask this. Thousands of years ago, right in the middle of a literal battlefield, a warrior named Arjuna faced this exact same confusion. Standing opposite him was Krishna. And the answers Krishna gave him on that day are the exact same answers to the questions we struggle with right now. But to understand Krishna's answer, we first have to completely shatter a massive misconception.
Which brings us to Section 1, the illusion of a judge. So a lot of people usually imagine God as this old man sitting up in the sky, carefully watching everyone, deciding who gets a reward today and who gets a punishment. But Krishna just completely shatters this image. He explains that God is everywhere and in everything, but is absolutely not entangled in it. And this brilliantly illustrates his point. Think of it like the electricity in your house. It's just a neutral power, right? You can use it to turn on a lamp and illuminate a room, or someone can misuse it and get a terrible shock. If someone gets shocked, is it the electricity's fault? Of course not. According to the text, God is exactly like that power, a universal system. God provides the energy, but how it's actually used is entirely up to the human being. Which brings us to a very, almost dangerous truth, captured perfectly by this question. If God does everything, whose fault is sin? See, we are given freedom. What you think, what you do, what you choose, it's your decision entirely. If some divine being were micromanaging every single human action, then humans wouldn't be responsible for anything wrong they did. According to the Gita, the problem isn't God. The problem is our own understanding of how much responsibility we truly bear. So if God isn't directly handing out these rewards and punishments on a daily basis, who or what is?
That leads us right into Section 2, the universal system, Prakriti and Karma.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how Krishna breaks down the exact mechanics of reality. The world operates through a precise system based on two dual engines running behind the scenes. On one side, we have Prakriti. That's nature's invisible, totally unstoppable mechanism. It's the flow of time, the pull of gravity, the cycle of birth and death. On the other side, we have Karma. This is the absolute ironclad rule of action and reaction within that system. Literally, whatever you do, it will eventually return to you in some form. The text posits that God created this flawless system, sure, but it is our own actions that actually operate within it.
Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. You're looking at this mechanical system and raising the most immediate objection. Okay, but then why do good people suffer today? Right? We all see good, totally honest people facing terrible injustice, and we instantly jump to the conclusion that either the universe is completely broken or God is just unfair.
Let's move to and see how this builds, because Krishna points out we are making a huge mistake here. We're only looking at a single moment in time. Life isn't just one isolated situation. It's a continuous, unbreakable chain. First, there's a past action. Think of it as an unseen seed. Then there's this period of hidden incubation as time passes, and finally the present result, where the consequence actually arrives. The suffering someone experiences today, it might not be the result of what they did today at all. It's a delayed reaction from a past we simply cannot see.
Now, the Gita presents a deeply uncomfortable concept here, but one that completely reframes our perspective. When a good person is suffering, they might actually be clearing out the result of an old karma. It is not a punishment from an angry deity. Actually, scratch that. It's not a punishment at all. The text posits it is a perfectly fair process. The universe is perfectly balanced over a timeline that is just way too massive for our human eyes to comprehend. We just don't have the whole picture. But okay, a system of strict action and reaction can feel very cold and mechanical. Is God really just a distant observer of this giant machine?
Let's explore that in Section 3, the essence of devotion.
Here, Krishna reveals how deeply personal this universe actually is. Just look at the offerings he describes: a simple leaf, a single flower, a piece of fruit, or literally just a drop of water. Krishna says that if anyone offers these incredibly modest things with a pure and true heart, he accepts them. You don't need grand, wildly expensive gestures or super elaborate rituals to impress God. Because God doesn't want to be impressed. God wants pure intention and a true, genuine connection.
So the crucial point is understanding what we call the awareness gap. If God accepts such simple offerings and is quite literally always present, why do we feel so incredibly disconnected? Well, the distance isn't physical. God isn't sitting millions of light years away on some throne. The problem is our awareness. We are constantly searching outside of ourselves for a presence that is already deeply within us and all around us. We just kind of lack the internal vision to see it.
Which brings us to the absolute core takeaway of Krishna's teachings in this chapter. God gives you choices, not your life. You are not just a passive victim of your past actions or some rigid mechanical universe. Yes, for sure, what you're experiencing today is the result of your past, but what you choose to do today, right now, in this moment, is what will create your future reality. According to the Gita, you are the active creator of your own destiny through the free choices you make within this beautifully balanced system.
So I really want to leave you with this provocative thought as we wrap up. Where will you look for him now? Will you keep looking up at the sky waiting for some cosmic judge? Or will you start looking inward and really paying attention to the choices you make every single day? The knowledge we've explored today from Chapter 9 changes absolutely everything, but trust me, it's only the beginning. The next chapter offers a vision that will completely alter how you perceive the world around you. Until then, keep questioning, keep learning, and thank you so much for joining me on this explainer.